All right, folks, here's a video on review 5, number 4, 5, 6, and 9. Number 4 is simply finding the average value. So the average value formula is taking the antiderivative, okay, from the lower upper bound there, lower upper bound, and then doing 1 over upper minus lower, which is that right there, okay? And so from 2 to 9, we basically have this to this, and you have area of triangle, and then quarter circle and quarter circle, okay? And these are actually going to cancel each other out, so you really only have to worry about the triangle, the area of the triangles, okay? So you just find the area of this triangle and subtract that from the area of this triangle, and you get, and then you multiply that by 1/7, which is 1 over 9 minus 2, and we're getting negative 3/7. Okay, so your answer is B. Now, 5. 5 right now is a little bit of an unconventional problem, and you actually don't need your original, what's in the original problem for review 5, this thing. Whoops. Right over, where's review 5? You really don't need this right here, okay? So, here we go. So we're going to set this up right here. Because we see a 0 and a 4, we're going to set up an antiderivative of g prime, okay, from 0 to 4, which is here to here, okay? And when you take the antiderivative of the derivative, it basically returns you back to the original function. Okay, so we end up, and then so the antiderivative of the derivative of g is basically going to be g regular, and then you plug in upper bound, plug in lower bound. Okay, the 4 gets plugged in, 0 gets plugged in, and subtract the 2. And so this right here, okay, this right here is the area of the triangle pointing downwards right there. Okay, which is negative 8. Okay. G of 0 is given to us, it's 6, it's given right here, okay? And then we just solve backwards for G sub 4, and it should be negative 2, I made a typo, okay? So I should say negative 2. Okay, let me fix that right now. That's 4B. Sorry, 5. It should be negative 2, okay? And let's talk about number 6, okay? F of 0, that means we plug in 0 in for x. 2 times 0 is 0, okay? The 3 stays constant, okay? And then we want the lower bound, or we want the lower number as the lower bound, okay? So we put 0 on bottom, 3 on top, crisscross. Again, switch the bound, switch the sign, so positive changes to negative. Okay, from 0 to 3 is basically a 0 to 3. Okay, is basically a trapezoid. Okay, so base 1 is 1, base 2 is, so base 1 is 1, base 2 is 3, so 3 plus 1. Okay, your height is 2. Okay. And then 1/2, and because it is pointing, and because it's this negative right here, because we flip the bounds, okay, you get negative 4, okay? Now for B, you plug in 4 in for x, okay, and you get 8 on top, okay? So 3 to 8 is simply going to be we got a triangle here. Okay. We got a rectangle here. And we have a semicircle there. Okay. And you just add up the areas and then make it negative because it's pointing down. All right. And that's 6. Number 9. Okay. I amended the answer key, or not amended, I made some additions. I put this hint at the prompt. Okay. So here's the deal with limits. You try to use algebra, you try to plug in, okay? And so let's take A, for example. We try to plug in 2, but then there's a 0 on the bottom, which is indeterminate form. So we try using algebra factoring, for example, to get out of this, but we realize you can try doing that, okay? But you're going to keep on running into dead ends, aka indeterminate form. So you try using LHOP's rule, but it says not to use LHOP rule. So one of our last resorts is to use these right here, okay? Is use these right here. This is your traditional limit definition or traditional derivative definition, and this is your alternate, okay? This, I believe, is from week, let's see if I can pull it up. This is from, let's pull up my calendar. I believe it is week, it's from unit 3. Yep, it's from week 4, Monday, right here. Okay, it's under these notes right here. Okay, so that's where I pulled this from. All right, now, because you see an H here, so you're gonna, for 9B, 9C, you're gonna use this. You see an X here, so you're gonna use the alternate version for 9A, okay? 9A, your f of x is on the top left, so we're gonna pay attention to that. So your f of x is on the top left, so it's 3 to the power x, okay? Let's see if I can create some more space here. Okay, perfect. Now, so again, this is your alternate definition of a derivative. So basically, we take the derivative, okay, of f of x, which is 3 to the power x, and we take the derivative of this, it becomes that. And then your a is 2, so you plug in 2 into x after the derivative, okay? And that is basically your answer. So this is your answer right here. So basically, if I were to convert this into a sentence right here, look at the top left, take the derivative, and then plug in 2 in for your x, okay? 2 in for your x. So I took the derivative of this, I get that, and plug in 2 for x, okay? And again, if I zoom out even more, you try plugging in 2, okay, to evaluate the limit, but we run into indeterminate form, dead end. You try algebra factoring, still run into a dead end. Then you try LHOP rule, but it says you cannot use LHOP rule. So now we use one of our last resorts, which is this right here from week 4, Monday. Okay, right here. All right. Now let's look at B over here. B, again, we're using the traditional limit definition of a derivative. Okay, so now we pay attention to the top right. Our top right function is this, and it used to be an x, okay? That's our actual f of x, but then they substitute in a 2, okay? So there's just some hidden information, some stuff they tried to hide. They try to hide this x. So your original function is going to be, e to the power x, okay, whoops, e to the power x, and then you take the derivative of that, which is still e to the power x, and then they substitute in 2 for the x, so you plug in 2 for x, and you get e squared, okay? Now, C, there's a very clever hiding and disguising that they did, okay? So let me copy, paste this right here, That's your answer. And C, let me move it down here. Okay, now here's your answer key over here. Notice how all I did here was put a 1 here because 2 times 1 gives you this 2. So this is your problem, this is your answer. Okay, now you can see now, you can look, so again, this is because you see an H, you're going to use the limit definition of a derivative. Okay, we're going to pay attention to the top right. Okay, and you can conceptualize this. It used to be an X, but then they put a 1. Okay, so your original function is e to the power of 2x. Okay, that's your original function over here. All right, and you take the derivative of that, and you get that after chain rule. Okay, now instead of an X, they put a 1. Okay, so replace it with the 1. Okay, you can see that right here. All right, so now after taking the derivative, I put in a 1 for x, and I get e squared. Okay, and then the big 2 remains. So 2e squared is f prime of 1. Okay, and that's 4, 5, 6, 9 ABC from review 5. Thanks for tuning in.